Every year, the metro region generates about 2.5 million tons of waste, and it's a huge driver of climate change. It's got a lot of negative health and environmental impact, and something that we need to tackle from multiple angles. We were getting a lot of requests from different organizations and businesses in the private sector that had these creative ideas to innovate and invest in new technologies and strategies to prevent waste from happening and make better use of our waste. We want to create a future where we reduce the waste that we produce and we have strong local markets for the waste that we do generate. And at the same time, we're looking to fund leaders in bringing equity into the system around waste. We've been creating this regional waste plan strategy, and core to that strategy is understanding that our system is not equitable, doesn't serve everyone equitably, looking to bring services into communities that haven't had them, particularly communities of color or communities that have been harmed by the solid waste system, create benefits from the system for those communities. So we're really looking to do both of those goals at the same time, environmental and equitable outcomes out of this program.
So I'm Sandra Comstock, and I'm the Executive Director of Hygiene for All. The idea is that it's a place where people can come and know that they're going to have a place of sanctuary as well as a place to get resources. The Metro Grant is for one of our most innovative projects that came out of the hundreds of hours of conversation we had to design the hub with houseless folks. So over a year and a half, we spent once a week talking with people about their different needs and struggles, and one of the big struggles that they mentioned was laundry. A few people realize how many hours people spend waiting in lines to get basic needs met. With laundry, it's like 6 to 8 hours waiting in line to get a load or two done. People don't really realize that being houseless is a full-time job. It's hard to make appointments and everything else when you're just trying to get your bodily needs met. Our particular site doesn't have running water or electricity. Both of those things are brought to the site, like either through our generator or through trucked water. So we came up with this idea that we could do a clothing and bedding exchange where people could bring in their dirty, wet clothing and bedding and other textiles and exchange them for completely new, dry, clean clothing and bedding, and that we could then take that stuff, wash it off site, and bring it back to the hub. And in that way, people could come in and just spend about, say, 10 minutes versus 8 hours. You know, some things people are going to want to hold on to, but if people are discarding stuff in the streets, it's because they know they can get something replaceable that works functionally in the same way. And so we're really excited about the hopefully the impact that this is going to have on our 20-block area. I mean, if people are bringing in that stuff rather than leaving them in the streets because they don't have any place to legally throw out their trash, then that's fewer complaints that are going to be made, less frustration from neighbors who get, frustrated when stuff accumulates on the street. So that reduces harm in that way as well. Yeah, it's really important. St. David's of Wales is the church that we're partnering with to do this off-site laundry facility. We've put in all the plumbing and fixtures to have 4 washers and 4 dryers. We have 8 pairs of volunteers that will come down and pick up that stuff, bring it here, wash and dry it, and then bring it back down to the hub as quickly as we can get it done. So much of what is discarded on the streets and what gets called in as a complaint to be investigated are textiles. So 70% was textile related, or clothing or bedding. So that's a lot of things that we could be doing something else with rather than just sending them to the dump.
My name is Julia Molnar, and I'm with the Useful Waste Initiative. The need that I was trying to meet with the Useful Waste Initiative was to divert construction materials that could be reused in a second way, and also help community organizations, nonprofits, do the work that they're doing in our community. In 2017, DEQ reported that 30 to 35% waste going to the landfill was construction waste. So that includes wood, windows, doors, trim, flooring, gypboard, drywall, and all of that is primarily coming from construction sites or from rehabs that can be reused. So a mock-up is a small version, either 2 walls or 3 walls, to show all the conditions of the larger building and test that out prior to the full construction. And in the Portland metro area, we were able to work with some of our partners to identify that approximately 100 mock-ups in a given calendar year are built, standalone mock-ups like the one you're looking at behind me. And those mock-ups are perfect candidates to be diverted and reused for a second life instead of going to the landfill. So with the Useful Waste Initiative, we are taking these mock-ups, asking the project teams to conform to some design guidelines so that we can transport these and donate them to local nonprofits. Part of the core belief behind the Useful Waste Initiative is about housing first and making sure that people are at the center of the design. We find it extremely important to work with the community members who are going to be receiving the mock-ups. This comes in a lot of different ways, both with in-person and virtual conversations about how they're actually going to use the pod to make sure that we're designing it in the way that best fits them. So that comes with a lot of questions and about use, about color, about culture, and just making sure that it's really for them.
These pods are going to provide an office space for my community out here in East County so that we can meet with our community members around housing, justice, and food. Afro Village does a lot of emergency preparedness and essential mutual aid and essential needs for unhoused folks. So it's a lot of activation. We don't say we're just a place, we're a movement. And so this will be a space where we can create some things that we can give back to the community after what has been produced. When we make something or when something grows, we'll add a value to that to give back to the community.
So at Hygiene for All, we were able to divert 2 mock-ups to that hub. So it starts with reaching out to us, coordinating what the mock-up looks like, and then we are facilitating the conversion of that through volunteer efforts, hiring folks from the villages to help learn construction skills and contribute to the build out of these structures, and also work with the community members to finish the design in a way that's really going to be beneficial to them. So in 2017, there were about 2,000 people who were unsheltered and 4,000 people who were considered houseless, not having a permanent stable home. So when I first started with the idea back in 2017 of what these mock-ups could be, I was really focused on housing and sleeping pods and being able to provide enclosed and safe shelter for folks that may be unhoused. We realized that these small structures can serve a lot of different uses that are equally beneficial for the services and the people in the community. And so we were able to brainstorm with the community members what the other things that it could be. The Useful Waste Initiative really formed out of this need and desire to have an environmental and a social impact. And so we really believe that everyone deserves well-built, quality materials, dignified spaces to sleep in or rest in or access. And it's that kind of fabric of our movements and our humanity that really puts people at the center of the work that we do.
My name is James from James Neighbor Recycling Service.
My name is Kathy Goldman. I'm with James Recycling. We offer recycling of non-curbside plastic items that can't really go anywhere else. We added up how much we've collected in 2021. It was over 36,000 pounds of scrap plastic that would have gone into the landfill. The innovation with this business is that we're doing something from the ground up that nobody else is doing, and there wasn't a clear path to where we are now. These recycling events offer the community a chance to bring their plastics here that they can't take anywhere else. And we have a pickup service that we can't get everybody in the community. So this is a good way to reach out. Our first event had like 80 people, and we were really excited about that. It's gone up to like 400, and we thought, at a certain point it would level off, but it's growing every time. The word's getting around, people are excited, and they come from all over. My experience with recycling was nothing. I mean, I would be like everybody else, just put it in the curbside bin and hope it was recyclable. James would come into our garbage and go through it, and I'd get in trouble because this could be recycled, this was not recyclable, Mom. And so it's grown into just along the way learning. I'm going from nothing to this. Part of our mission is to help other people with different abilities, like James, find employment, bringing them into our organization, into a place where they're understood and they're accepted. And we're partnering with Exceed Enterprises in Milwaukee. They're a nonprofit, and they specialize in finding employment for people with different abilities. When he was 4 years old, he was diagnosed with autism, and it's been a journey. It's been sometimes a real struggle, and I think one thing a lot of parents can relate to if they have a kid on the spectrum is that there's not a lot out there for them. And so I took his hobby and his interest and kind of grew it into something that he can have for his future. I never thought that this would turn into this, growing into something that we can provide to the whole community, and for him, a career, not just a job, but a career. And I want to bring other people into that and offer that. It can happen, It's a different way, a different path than everybody else, but it happened. I know more about plastic than I ever thought I would. We're plastic nerds, right, James?
My name is Lauren Gross, and I'm with Repair PDX. The mission of Repair PDX is to spread repair culture. Part of it is organizing events where volunteers fix people's broken belongings, like small appliances, sewing, bikes. And then the other part is education and building the repair economy. We want to intercept that space in between when something's broken and it getting thrown away. We're working against planned obsolescence often. And then on the other side of it is the culture around buying new things. When something breaks, you just throw it away and get a new one. And the cost of repairing something is prohibitive to getting it repaired. We're working on just getting people to understand that repair is an option. And we're also giving people the opportunity to try to fix things themselves. Because what we found is when people actually take the time to try to fix it, they're often successful. And like in our lamp repair classes and at our events, when somebody fixes something themselves, the experience of empowerment and joy and excitement that they get just from figuring something out, it's a really special thing to witness people feeling so excited about fixing things. It's not just about the repairs, but it's also about being in community. And the people who are experts, who have been fixing all their lives, know a lot, and they get joy from it. So I think it's just a matter of continuing, even if it's bit by bit. It's very small bits at a time. But that's the point of spreading repair culture, is the more people that get exposed to it, the more hopefully that they'll do it in the future, and the more that they'll tell other people about it too. We've been doing repair cafes, the free repair events, for about 8.5 years now. We've held 67 events at locations all over Portland. And on average, I would say we get probably anywhere from 50 to 100 items. It's probably somewhere around 28 tons of items that we've fixed so far. And I would say we've probably fixed around 4,500 belongings. Before this grant, a lot of our work was volunteer, and before this grant, there wasn't a whole lot of understanding or knowledge about repairing household items. So really the innovative thing is bringing repair back and bringing awareness. And what that does, like the underlying thing behind that, is respecting our materials. Like we extract a lot of materials so that we can make things. So it's not just that repair is fun. It's really taking responsibility for the things that we own, and and taking care of them so that we don't have to keep extracting and we don't have to keep buying new. We can buy new, but the point is to take care of the things that we own and make them last as much as possible.